Hello, what have we here?
Hello everyone, this is Stanford Jedi, and today we'll be taking a look at this Lando Calrissian figure, and this is from The Empire Strikes Back when he was first introduced. Now, there are some issues with this figure that aren't quite that good, but let's go ahead and take him off the stand that I have him on right now. We'll go ahead and remove his accessories. And we'll begin by looking at the figure himself. So, first things first, let's take a look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt itself is fairly decent. It's fairly decently painted. Now, here's one of the first issues that I have with this figure, and that is his jawline and the back of his hair do restrict the movement of him looking down. There's barely any moving down whatsoever. Now, if I turn this head all the way around, you can see, like, right there is a spot where it should clearly be able to be bent down and all that. But you can't. It's fully rotatable, so you get that at least. Also, if you can take a good look, there is some rough edges, as you can see right there. So it could be this specific figure in itself, I'm not sure, but that is fairly rough. So let's go ahead and move down to the torso. Now, the spot right here where the skin's at, you can see where the black of the collar right here is starting to touch like part of his skin. Hopefully you can see that. So the paint job so far isn't really good. His shirt, for the most part, seems fairly nice. Let's go ahead and turn around to the back. Now, as you can see, there's like a few spots there where the paint either chipped, I don't know if it happened during the whole packing process and it being shipped out or whatever. And also, if you happen to tilt him back a little bit, you can see a line where it's like wore down a lot. So, yeah. There's a few spots at the front where the paint has chipped. Let's go ahead and look at his arms. Goes up all the way up to there. Fully rotatable. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bending of the elbows. Oh, pretty nice. Now, I don't know what it is about his hand, but his hands feel rather weak at the joint area. Like, they feel rather loose, and I don't want to bend it too much, which is, yeah, like, as you can see, like, yeah, look at that. I'm barely touching it, and it's wiggling. So, I don't know if I just happen to have a damaged figure. And let's take a look at the bottom of his hand. That is really rough. That is not good. I just don't know what to say about that. That's really rough. Of course, everything can be said about here. Fully movable. And also, everything can be said where you can see that it's not as rough. Also, what a cool little detail here. Got his little wrist communicator you see in the movie when he was calling for backup. This hand right here does feel rather weak, to be quite honest. But this is his blaster hand, and this is the hand he would use to hold his little other communication device. So let's go ahead and leave him in T-pose. Let me show you the movements. Fully rotatable. There's some give coming down. His belt, for For the most part, though, does look rather nice. Of course, though, you can kind of see kind of like an overlap with the lighter blue. Let me, was kind of covering the belt a bit. Also, you can get a really good look at those spots. Also, now the closer look at this, like, this right here does look pretty rough in itself, too. Alright, let's go ahead and move down to the lower section. Let's go ahead and move his legs out, see how far they go. They go out rather far. So you can do a split if you want to. There we go. Showing the best, all the movement in this part right here. This does rotate all the way around. If you want to do that, that's fine. Now usually, I would have to put my hand or my thumb there to kind of help bend it back. But, well. Okay. Never mind. I think it's the other leg that was... Okay, well. It does seem like these joints were already broken in. So that they're not as stiff, for the most part, as the other figures. The paint so far on his legs, on his pants, I don't see any chipping or anything like that, so they look fairly good for the most part. Let's go down to his really funky shoes, his disco shoes. I guess that's what you call them, or his boots. So they move over to the side like that. And there's not really much. This right here kind of restricts the movement a bit, so there's not really... Well, this foot right here has a little bit more give, where the bottom of the pants are. The other side, not so much. So, yeah. There has been a few minor things on this figure that's not very well, but let's go ahead and put him down, and let's go ahead and move on to some of his accessories. Right here is the little... It's kind of fun to... Hopefully you guys can see that. This is like his little communicator he used to talk throughout all of Cloud City. This right here is the handle, and it fits quite well in his hand, actually. So yeah, it's not like super detailed. For what it is, it's pretty good. And what paint's on there looks pretty good. So this is something that's kind of surprising. Usually a lot of the blasters I get out of anyone who uses blasters, a lot of times they get bent. But this one, though, is pretty much fairly straight, which is rather surprising. So I guess there's one good thing. His blaster, for the most part, is fairly straight. And it's not really that noticeable if there is a bend. There's a slight bend, but really, it's not that noticeable. It's actually a way better blaster. Alright, so let's get to the next piece, and that is his cape. Now, I kind of understand why they probably went with a plastic mold and instead of making like a fabric, because of all the detail you would want and all that, and how to get this certain look. It probably would have been a little bit too much to make a full-on cloth material. But there's a few things that are wrong with this. So let's go ahead and show you the back. For the most part, there's no really parts that are really messed up. Looking pretty good. The inside itself, fairly decent. But then when you get down to here, you can kind of see where some of the gold paint is starting to go down to where it's supposed to be blue. But as far as that seems to be the only painting problem on here. Now, here's the thing though. This, when it's on, does restrict some movements when it comes to the figure. Now it does fit on quite nicely, for the most part. It just drops right on his shoulders, and it's pretty relaxed. Now let me try to get to the point where I say that's about the point you want to put the hands up, because the further back you go up, the more it'll start pushing it off and you can't do certain things with it. So when he's in his cape, I don't know why I'm forgetting my words here. You might want to keep him in a more relaxed position, you know, have him maybe just thinking and maybe holding his blaster at down to the side here, maybe pointed just a little bit. Same thing with the communicator. But like I said, the further up you go, the more this is just when it tries to come off. So yes, let me go ahead and put him on a stand. And luckily though, he actually fits quite well in the stands I have, which is nice. So I got some things I usually complain about that's actually pretty decent, but everything else I seem to have no real issues with on other figures up here on this one. So I say if you can get this figure at, you know, a really good price, maybe 10 or so, maybe a little bit lower, then I would say go for it. But let me first just say again, all the problems with this figure, with the paint job and some of the rough parts with some of the mold and stuff like that, could just be this individual figure in itself. So if you know someone, or you yourself have this exact same figure, let me know if you have some of the same issues, and hopefully this is just the one that, you know, just happened to get by, you know, the people who check things, you know. I don't know words. But yeah, anyway, this is Stand for Jedi. I hope you all enjoyed this. I really do like Lando Calrissian. I think he's a really cool character. So I do still like the figure, even though it does have its flaws. But either way, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and may the Force be with you always.